Hi, it's Alexis. In this video, I'm going to share with you 8 mistakes, common mistakes women make with their boyfriend or partner. So I'm going to share with you, as a man, some of my tips, but also as a result of working with a lot of my clients, female clients and male clients. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how, as a woman, you can get closer to your boyfriend or partner, whether you're in the seduction mode or whether you're trying to get back with them. So the first mistake women make is that they are very impatient. I'm not saying like all the women are impatient, but in relationship, one of the common mistakes I see is that they will always try to fix things and be very active and be very proactive, which is good, but to fix things right away. And they don't allow time for things to settle or information to digest, all these kind of things. And if you think about your man, your boyfriend, think of them as a plant. Okay, we are plant, with brainless stuff, animal. A plant, you don't grow it by yelling at it or pushing it or pressuring it. You have to water it and take care of it, and it will grow with time. Think of your relationship with your boyfriend or partner in the similar way. Second mistake is that you might be in love or have a vision that is too ideal of your boyfriend or partner. What I mean by that is that maybe you just broke up and you have this vision of him being amazing, and you feel like maybe you're never gonna find someone as amazing as him, and all these kind of things. You have to stop with this mindset, because what happens is that you only remember good memories, or you only remember the good thing about that person. But everybody has weaknesses, everybody has default, not everybody is perfect, apart from my wife, obviously, but but that's the case. So don't always idealize your partner or your ex, because it's gonna have a very negative effect on your confidence, on your mindset, and it's not sustainable, it's not healthy. So don't fall in that trap. Third thing, which I call the Ted Mosby, is to share your feelings upfront or too directly. The Ted Mosby, what is it? If you remember the TV show, US TV show, he goes to Robin and says, after the first date, "I love you." And what happens is, after he says that, she just runs away. What I mean by that is, when you are in a seduction mode, it's sort of playing a game of cards. You don't want to reveal your game too early. So, and I know a lot of people want to share their feeling and want to be like, okay, I love you, I want to have kids, I want to grow a family. But if you're too direct and if you go too quickly, what's going to happen, as the Ted Mosby effect, your boyfriend will run away because, like, wow, that's too much for me. Okay, so I'm not saying you shouldn't share feelings, but you should try to share them a little bit after a little bit, or not so directly, but very indirect. Fourth one is, some people ignore that they're not in the same stage in their relationship. Maybe you're here and he's here. It doesn't matter, it's impossible, but you need to acknowledge that maybe you're a little bit ahead in the relationship than he is. And most people make that mistake. They compare their current situation with previous situation. So they'll say, oh, he's cooking me dinner, he's sending me nice text. And I remember with my ex was like that when we were together for a year, something like that. And so you like comparing and maybe not realizing that actually, if he does that, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's as in love or has the same feeling as you. So always try to acknowledge whether you are at the same level or at the same stage in your relationship, or whether there's a little bit of imbalance. Again, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, but if you don't acknowledge that, then you're going to send the wrong signals. The fifth mistake is that you assume to know the other. Even though you're very close, even though you talk a lot, everybody has secrets. And what we really reveal to the other, even in a couple, is not our true self. So don't fall in that trap of thinking that you know the other person. We all have secrets, we're very complex, and your boyfriend or your ex-boyfriend, there's part of him that you don't know. So it's very important to also acknowledge that you don't necessarily know the person. And the reason I say that is because in the sixth one is that don't pretend to be someone else. It's linked, because as you try to fake things, you're just projecting something wrong. If you're pretending to be something else, or be at your best or your top, like always like wearing makeup or like looking amazing, what's going to happen is you're not going to sustain this for a long time. So I'm not saying don't take care of yourself. I'm not saying dress with sweatpants and t-shirt with holes and stuff, but just try to be natural and try not to overdo things, because you're not going to sustain this over the long time and you're going to be exhausted. And then you will reveal your true self and your boyfriend will be like, whoa, that's not what I thought you were. So of course, try to be on top of your game, but don't overdo it, because otherwise you're going to be exhausted. 7 is that to think that men should lead the seduction. Men should always make that first move. And that's a very common misconception with women, is that they think that I'm not going to text him, I'm not going to ask him to go out, I'm not going to suggest things, because he has to take the lead, he's the man. It's a wrong way to see it, because there's been studies, and actually, of course, men in our society are expected to have the lead and start the seduction, but in reality, the trigger of that man doing that first move is done by women. So in nightclubs, women would have like very long eye contact with men that they really like, and that would trigger these guys to go and talk to them. So similar in relationship, don't always think that the man should always take the initiative. It's fine if you make the first step, and it shouldn't be necessarily direct. It could be like taking pictures, sending text, but it doesn't mean like you have to wait alone thinking, yeah, that's his role, he's the man, he should do it. So take ownership of this. It's going to be fine, don't worry. And number 8, which I think is the most common, is that you think that he understands what you want. In other words, you don't clearly say what you want. Men are stupid, okay? They don't understand. They're not very subtle. So if you expect him to take you out on a date every week, just say it. Don't expect him to understand that what you need, okay? I understand most women don't understand why guys don't get when it's very subtle, or when you answer things like, I'm okay, what are you thinking? All these kind of very broad questions where the man is offered to do something, or well, in reality we are very stupid. So be direct with what you want and what you need, and you'll see 95% of the time the guy will like, oh yeah, okay, sure, makes sense, and I'll do it. Because if you don't say clearly, guys wouldn't necessarily try to dig deeper and understand. Most of us would take things at face value. So that's the very, very common mistake, is like, you're not saying what you think. You're not sharing what you want from the other. So these were the 8 mistakes. I hope these were helpful. If you have any other questions or want to talk with myself or someone in my team, there are links at the bottom of the video, and I'll see you next time otherwise. Ciao.